So at the recording of this video, it is currently May 12th, 2022, and the Miami Heat are traveling up to Philadelphia, and they lead the Sixers 3-2 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Sixers are looking to not only advance to a Game 7, they're just avoiding elimination, because the last time the Sixers were at home avoiding elimination in a playoff game, I think we all remember what happened. But that's besides the point. I have a confession to make today. The Miami Heat are not only going to make the 2022 NBA Finals, the Miami Heat are going to win the 2022 NBA Finals. Now, there's 3 levels as to why this is difficult for me to admit that the Heat are going to win the Finals. First, don't let that jersey behind you fool you. I am not a Miami Heat fan. It was the first NBA jersey I ever got as a kid, so it holds a special place in my heart. I loved watching Ray Allen, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James, Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole, that entire Miami Heat team for that period of time. I loved watching that team. But I'm a diehard Orlando Magic fan, born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Secondly, the moment that the Philadelphia 76ers traded for James Harden in that trade with Ben Simmons to the Brooklyn Nets, I said and I stamped it. Not only did the Philadelphia 76ers win that trade, they would be advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. Fast forward from the deadline to today, the Sixers won that trade. I don't think that there's any debate about it. And then third, I did say that they would go to the Eastern Conference Finals. If you remember my playoff prediction video, which I will link to it up above, I did say that the Eastern Conference Finals was going to be the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Philadelphia 76ers, like I've been predicting since the NBA trade deadline. And as of right now, are the Sixers eliminated while I'm recording this video? No, they're not. Are the Miami Heat eliminated? No, they're not. But the Sixers are not going to win this series. The Miami Heat are. And they're going to win the finals. Let's get into the Miami Heat talk of this. The first reason is because they have a championship-level pedigree head coach in Erik Spoelstra. Erik Spoelstra's been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. That's off the top of my head. As a member of the Miami Heat. He's done it 4 times with LeBron and did it once with Jimmy Butler in the bubble. And he took LeBron James and that LA team to 6 games in the bubble before the Lakers ended up getting their Mickey Mouse ring. Erik Spoelstra, time and time again, and he's showing you yet again in the playoffs that he knows how to make in-game adjustments better than just about anybody else. Erik Spoelstra was a top 15 coach probably of all time. Erik Spoelstra consistently, time and time again, gets guys, whether it's role players or star players, ready and are put in a position to succeed because Erik Spoelstra is that guy, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. And sometimes even in the middle of possessions, you see Erik Spoelstra switching from man-to-man to a 2-3, to a 3-2, to a 1-3-1, whatever the case may be. Erik Spoelstra is an elite level coach, and he's not an Ime Udoka in his first season as an NBA head coach who's not having to go through the trials and tribulations. Erik Spoelstra's been there, done that, he's battle tested, and he knows how to get guys properly ready. And no shade to Ime Udoka, he's done a phenomenal job this year. Secondly, I cannot say enough about Jimmy Playoff Buckets, Jimmy Butler himself. I want to make this clear. I am not a prisoner of the moment, and this is not recency bias. I have the receipts. I have been a believer in Jimmy Buckets for a long time, really since his days in Philadelphia. I believe Philadelphia would have advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2019 had Kawhi not made one of the most ridiculous and historically great shots in NBA history. There is something that needs to be said about Jimmy Butler. Is Jimmy Butler a superstar? Absolutely not. Is he an all-NBA type of talent? Yes, he is. And is he an all-star caliber player? Absolutely. There's something about Jimmy Butler that guys believe in, and there's something about him that I believe in. Jimmy Butler gets the job done, and even though he's not a superstar, he can be a number 1 option on a championship level team. He can will a team to the championship, and I believe he can get a team a championship. And while Jimmy Butler has not truly had any historic playoff performances that have really been put there on the map when you look at guys like Giannis in his closeout game to win the finals MVP, LeBron's historic performances throughout the playoffs, we've seen Kevin Durant do it, we've seen Kyrie Irving do it, we've seen Kawhi Leonard do it a million times. Jimmy Butler's never really had that moment where he stood out, but Jimmy Butler is a model of consistency, and like I said, I've always been a believer in him, and he's done nothing to change that narrative for me personally. In the Eastern Conference semifinals so far, in these 5 games versus the Philadelphia 76ers, Jimmy Butler's averaging 26.6 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 5.8 assists, and he's doing it efficiently, shooting 53% from the floor. And then the last thing you look at with the Miami Heat is the consistency and the depth in which they provide. Now, have they shot the ball effectively and well in Philadelphia in games 3 and 4? No, they did not. I expect that to change tonight. I expect Tyler Hero, who was a sixth man of the year, to actually continue to elevate and step up his game because he's been battle tested as well from his rookie season to now. Then you look at guys like Max Strus, who's been phenomenal. Gabe Vincent, Bam Adebayo's obviously came into his own and been a great player. Duncan Robinson finally got some actual rotational minutes in Game 5 in South Beach where they blew out the Sixers 85-120. Now, Duncan Robinson honestly got overpaid because he's a liability on defense, and if he's not hitting shots, he's just doing cardio. But Duncan Robinson's going to be important to where the Miami Heat are trying to go, and especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Victor Oladipo, I didn't even mention. Consistently, the Miami Heat have depth, they're battle-tested, and they've been there, done that, been through the trials and tribulations. I trust the Miami Heat. Now, last thing I want to address is with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks, the entire season, from the moment the season tipped off till now, were my favorites to come out of the East, but no Chris Middleton, because that's the asterisk. If they don't have Chris Middleton, I don't expect them to beat the Miami Heat. And I was never a believer that the Boston Celtics were going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, regardless if Chris Middleton was there or not. Obviously, it just shows and it laments just how impressive and how much of a legacy Giannis is defining for himself in these performances, especially without his second guy in Chris Middleton. And I understand that Miami has already had their struggles with Giannis. They beat Giannis before in the playoffs, but they also got swept by Giannis in the playoffs. Or maybe they got gentlemen swept. Whatever it was a couple of years ago, Giannis got over that hump and beat the Miami Heat. The point is, though, this Miami Heat team is different to me. I think Giannis just is going to need Chris Middleton in that series, and I like the Miami Heat to win that series. I like them to go and win the NBA Finals. Heat fans and NBA fans out there, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me and the channel out tremendously. And if you guys are new here, consider hitting that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jacksonville Jaguars and, of course, NBA content that I do here on YouTube. But that's it for this video. I want to say thank you guys again so much for sticking around. But Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Peace!